everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And in today's video, we are going to be furnishing an apartment which is known as IX land grab. I'm not so sure what the IX stands for. I believe it is a Roman number, but I'm not so sure which one it is. But anyways, this apartment is for an engineer who is living in San Myshuno, which is the world that came with the city living pack. And I can't imagine myself living here because for me, I'm doing engineering or going towards engineering as a career, so I decided to build something out of it and I decided to furnish this apartment because it would be easiest for me to do, and I also can picture myself living here, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this theme. But anyways, I was contemplating on what I should name for this apartment, so in the end I ended up going with an engineer's apartment because it is more like related to what I am doing, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do for me to furnish this apartment according to that style. But anyways, I really like how this build or this apartment turned out because it is quite a huge apartment. I believe this apartment has like 2 floors, and it was a challenge for me, but I definitely enjoyed furnishing this apartment because I kind of knew what elements I should include, and most of the concepts that you see me furnishing will be based off of Pinterest. So just a disclaimer, all my builds are not 100% original, and just to avoid any criticism or like maybe being accused by someone that I'm copying another simmer, I would just like to disclaim that all my builds are based off of Pinterest and not 100% of them are original. But anyways, for this apartment, it is quite like industrial because of the theme, and I referred to Pinterest and I saw a lot of posts on Pinterest that show these apartments, or because I searched like in the search bar I searched industrial decorations, and a lot of them seem to be towards like apartments and lofts, and also a lot of them have a lot of like metal bars and also like brown colors and colors in that range. So I decided to include that in here, in which I included a lot of like metal elements in this build to make it very industrial and also very nice. And I really like the concept of industrial decorations because I don't know, to me it, as much as like dull it looks, I think it is quite nice because of the aesthetics, and I think that the metal elements to it and also the browns and dark colors really suit each other very well, and I guess that's the reason why I kind of like it, even though it is not my forte. But anyways, this apartment ends up having 2 bedrooms, in which one of them is upstairs, which is the grand or the master bedroom, and the other one is downstairs because there was too much space too much space for this apartment for me to furnish, so I decided just to include a bedroom in here. But in terms of the floor plan, it was quite a hassle for me to do because the apartment itself is quite huge, first of all, and second of all, when I tried to like change the balcony area on top, which came with the apartment when you first open it, the fence didn't seem to disappear for some reason, so I just decided to like stick with the floor plan and basically make some minor adjustments to it so that I can furnish it however I want. But I really hope you guys don't mind that. If you want to download this apartment, you can technically, but in this apartment I will also be including some platform areas. I think there's only one platform area, but I think I will have to upload it without the platform. So if you want to download it, you can, but it is not with a platform area, and you will also have to include the platform later on by yourself. And it's such an inconvenience for us to do that because, in my opinion, it shouldn't be that hard for simmers to upload platforms to the gallery. But I really hope the Sims team can change or do something about that. But anyways, we are moving on to the kitchen area over here, and the kitchen is, I would say, my second favorite part of the build, because my first favorite part of the build would have to be the living room just now because I really like the style and stuff like that. But for the kitchen, I really like how I use the Moschino decorations. I'm not so sure if they are windows or like normal decorations, but I basically use them to create a frame, and that frame I think that you can see in the entryway over there. But it kind of reminds me of like factories and stuff, because I think that the metal frames would be something that you see in factories, especially because it is a frame and also metal. So I just decided to include that because I wanted to add more variations to this concept, which is an industrial theme apartment for an engineer. And I also imagine that the engineer living here is doing the type of engineering that is more towards digitalization and also technology. So basically, if you were to talk about traditional engineering, people would think of like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and maybe also chemical engineering. But in my opinion, like those types of traditional engineering are quite boring. So I decided to do this apartment for an engineer who is into the digitalization or modernization of engineering, which includes the use of computers, data, maybe a data scientist also, and also some coding and stuff like that. But I'm not so sure if you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about engineering terms and shifting away from the topic of this apartment. So yeah, that's that. But anyways, for the kitchen, I really like it because it looks very industrial, and I decided to use the wallpapers that came with the dine out pack, which you see are the brick ones over here, and I decided to pair it with the tiled ones that came with the base game, which kind of looks modern and doesn't look very tiled in my opinion. It is the dark ones that you see over here, but next to the kitchen is going to be the dining room area, and the dining room is quite small, I would say, and I think I could have done better if I were to include a separate room for the dining room, so it is very much bigger. But I didn't do that. But anyways, I really like the chairs that I use here. I think they are from Get to Work or the base game or Get Together. I'm not so sure because this is my first time using them, and I really like the color and also the concept, the style of it, because it very suits the industrial type of theme, and because of the metal frames and stuff like that, it looks very, very suitable. And throughout this build, you will also see that I will be adding a lot of paintings that came with the, I think, the vintage glamour stuff pack, where the paintings are paintings of like sim versions of Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, and also another one who I don't know. So I decided to use those paintings because they are quite big, and as you can see for this apartment also the walls are quite tall, so I thought that the largeness or the size of the paintings suited very well for this type of walls, and so I decided to use it in this build. And the floor plan basically took me quite a long time, and I'm not so sure if I mentioned this earlier because I'm recording this for like the third time because I keep like stuttering, so I decided to like redo the recording. But the floor plan took me quite a long time because I don't know, it just didn't like suit very well, I guess. And so I decided to just make some minor adjustments and keep the existing floor plan to make it easier. But this apartment also has 2 bedrooms, in which one of them is the grand or master bedroom, and the other one over here is the guest bedroom. And I think I included a toilet on the ground floor. I'm not so sure because I forgot. But there is a toilet definitely on the top floor, and also a study in this apartment. And yeah, I really like the turnout of this apartment because of the style, and I really enjoyed furnishing an apartment for the first time, I would say, through this one. And yeah, I really like how it turned out because of all the colors and all the styles. And over here is the guest bedroom, like I said, and it contains sort of like clutter that looks like someone lives here, but I just imagine that the sim who is an engineer that lives here just likes to keep her stuff around. Oh yeah, and for this apartment also I managed to include kind of this storage room where I will be putting a washing machine and a dryer, and also just a shelf, so that I imagine that it's where the engineer also stores their items, because in my like point of view, or from what I observe from my friends who are also engineering students, they tend to be disorganized. But I think there are some engineers who are organized, but a lot of them tend to be organized, and basically for their like study table, there will always be like books everywhere and papers everywhere and just like very, very messy. But for me, I think I tend to be like that, but I try to keep myself organized so that I don't have to worry about like keeping things neat later. But anyways, over here I decided to include a bookshelf because I thought that the number of bookshelves in this apartment didn't really fit. So I decided to add like a couple of bookshelves here and there, which is one in the living room and also the other one in the study room upstairs that you will see, I think, in the end of the video. I really like the design because of the overlooking balcony towards the living room, and yeah, I really like that. But anyways, we are moving on to the master bedroom over here, and as you can see, I utilized the platform tool in which I will have to delete when I upload it. So if you guys want to include the platform, you can always do that when you download the house or build or apartment, but if you don't, that's fine too. I decided to include kind of this bookshelf behind the bed and make it look like it's attached to the hallway table and also the bed, so it kind of looks blended. And on the sides of the bed, I decided to include a tall mirror from the Vintage Glamour stuff pack and add some texture to it, which is a paneling from the City Living pack. And I really like how this bedroom turns out. Usually I really suck at doing bedrooms because I always put my minimum effort when I decorate the bedrooms that are in my builds, but for this one I really like it because it really looks grand and just lavish. And I also included a dressing table from the Vintage Glamour stuff pack because I figured that there's too much space for me to furnish, so I just decided to put things around here and there and just fill up some spaces. But I think a lot of the spaces I filled up are quite empty because yeah, I didn't have time. But the master bedroom's bathroom, which is the ensuite, is this section over here, and I really like it because it has a bathtub and also a shower. And I think it is my first time using that shower from the Fitness First. That's a brand, right? I'm not so sure what the pack is called. I think it is My Fitness stuff pack. I'm not so sure. Because I rarely use that pack, or maybe I just use the items, but I don't really care like what pack it's from. That's why I don't really remember the names of the packs. But this is my first time using the shower that came with it, and I really like the shower. It looks very, very modern. And over here is the section of the laundry room slash storage room, which I said previously, I think. And basically for this room, it is a room where your sim or the engineer sim does their chores or like laundry, but also at the same time it is a half pantry, so I included this kind of series of jars that came with the dine out pack just to make it look filled in terms of the shelving. So I guess you could say that it is a pantry too, but it is a very, very small pantry, which is located in the shelving unit that came with the laundry day stuff pack. And for me, like when I furnish any sort of room, actually, like for example, if I furnish a laundry room, I will always find myself using a lot of items from the laundry day stuff pack. Even though I want to use other packs, I always think that whenever you like decorate a specific room, you will have to use the pack that is associated to it. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, I find myself doing that a lot, and I really need to like up my game a bit. But over here is the area which is the study room, and I really like the sunlight that is coming in from the back part, which is the window, so I decided to include a table in there so that if I'm planning to take screenshots, maybe the lighting will definitely look nice for that area. But the engineer who is living here is also into like video production and also lifestyle, so I decided to include a recording station that came with the Get Famous pack. And I think I rarely use the items over there because I usually keep my themes of the build to a very generic theme. But anyways, we are moving on to the final part of the video, and the final part of the video is just me like decorating, cluttering things up. But anyways, I really hope you guys will like this one. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to download it, it's already up in the gallery. But yeah, just remember the platforms thing. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave any suggestions that you have or any requests, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!